So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money, far too much, and that's why this administration, why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it. We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred.
You're tuned in to Kaz TV.
So people are upset about Elon and Trump finding wasteful spending and cutting it. Let's check out this video.
Can I ask you a question, Caroline, very quickly?
Sure.
We're now hearing from constituents in some traditionally red districts right now complaining about what they say is the chainsaw approach and saying that it's been done very sloppily, the cuts to jobs and spending. How do you respond to that criticism?
I love how the media takes a few critics when the overwhelming response from the American people is support for what this administration is doing. If you look at the public polling, 70% of Americans, according to CBS, believe that President Trump is delivering on the promises he made. And there should be no secret about the fact that this administration is committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The president campaigned on that promise. Americans elected him on that promise, and he's actually delivering on it. And this is something that Democrats promised they would do for decades. President Trump is just the first president to get it done.
She has a point. Whether you agree with Trump and Elon and what they're doing or not, the fact is he did campaign on this. And I see a lot of people saying stuff like, look, see, this is what you voted for. Are you happy now? Yes. This is what a lot of the voters, the majority of the voters, voted for. They voted for cutting wasteful spending. Trump was not silent about that. It's not like he switched up and changed things around. He said he would do these things, and he's doing them, which is rare for most politicians on the right and the left. Again, this isn't to criticize or support Trump and Elon and what they're doing, but it's just being honest. They said they would do this, and this is what they're doing. So I don't know why people are acting surprised. Maybe you could be upset and you're angry about the fact that Trump and Elon are cutting some of these programs, but acting like this is some bait and switch, like he lied to the American people about this, and then now he's doing something totally different, just isn't true. And that's what a lot of these journalists are trying to act like. And she says here, no, this is what he campaigned on. And this is what a large majority of American voters voted for. So I don't know what everyone's so upset about.
Republicans have praised the president for cutting wasteful spending, but fraud, of course, is a crime. So have you turned over evidence of fraud to the Justice Department, and when should we expect to see those indictments?
It's a clever question. First of all, I think all Americans would agree that funding mastectomies in Mozambique is not something that the American people should be funding, or DEI programs. I think it's fraudulent that the American government has been ripping off taxpayers in this way. And we also do know there has been extensive fraud, particularly if you look at Social Security. In fact, according to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud, Peter, that the government has admitted to. So this administration is committed to finding even more of that fraud, waste, and abuse.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year, and it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in 1 year, just to be clear.
In one report.
And it was in one report over multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money, far too much, and that's why this administration, why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it.
I just want to ask a question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you and the press who are clearly adamantly opposed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. But we know that American taxpayers at home who have been struggling with an inflationary crisis don't want their tax dollars going towards crazy DEI programs in countries overseas.
She's completely right. I mean, I see the reporter did try to say, well, technically, is this fraud? You said it's fraud. And she did say, well, isn't it fraudulent that you're taking money, sending it to another country to focus on DEI programs that have nothing to do with us? Why are we doing that? And obviously, I don't know legally if it is fraud or not. I don't know. I guess that's something for the attorneys that see this to determine. But when it comes to the fact that the American people don't want this and they're getting rid of it for the American people, Why is this journalist trying to defend that? Like, why doesn't he just say, yeah, this is a great thing. Like we need to get rid of some of this wasteful spending. I don't like who's doing it, but we need to get rid of it. I don't like, why can't the media just take this perspective? I don't like everything Trump stands for. I don't like how he talks. I don't like the way he carries himself. I don't like the things he said in the past. But I think this wasteful spending is good to cut back on. I don't understand why more people don't do that. Which brings me to my next point. So this is Bernie Sanders' X account or Twitter account. And he says right here, every once in a while, I do agree with Trump. He's right. When the Pentagon cannot complete an independent audit, we should cut military spending by 8% a year over the next 5 years. These savings could go to increasing Social Security benefits and strengthening VA healthcare. I mean, I can respect the fact, even though I disagree with Bernie Sanders on many things, I can respect the fact that he can at least see an action that makes sense to him and agree with it, regardless of who's doing it, even if he disagrees with everything else that this person does. I don't see that from the media. I wish the media could take that approach. When the media covers stories about Trump, about Obama and Bill Clinton cutting funding in different programs and saving wasteful spending, it was spun as a positive thing.
The day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. At a time when families have had to cut back, have had to make some tough decisions about getting rid of things that they don't need in order to make the investments that they do, we thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. Obviously, this is even more important given the deficits that we've inherited and that have grown as a consequence of this recession. This makes these efforts even more imperative. Now, this does mean making some tough choices. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative and in the budget. I know that the Joint Committee on trying to reduce our deficits are engaged in a very difficult conversation right now, and we want to encourage them to complete their work. But in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on, from Senator Tom Coburn, Republican, to Democrat Claire McCaskill. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste.
But when Trump does it, it's spun as a negative thing. It doesn't matter if you're for Trump or against Trump or for Obama or for Bush or whoever. It's just calling a spade a spade. So let's continue.
Also don't like the fact that there has been $71 billion worth of fraud in Social Security and improper payments going out the door. That's a problem that needs to be fixed, and President Trump is going to fix it. That's your fifth question. Elena, do you have anything to ask?
Because you said something that wasn't true, which is you said that they have found before that they believe there have been tens of millions of people who are receiving money who are dead on the Social Security list. The same report that you referred to said that almost none of those individuals are receiving
Peter, did you watch the full clip of the interview that I did when I said that? And I said there are a lot of unanswered questions, and we suspect there could be tens of millions of people.
I'm saying the IG report
so you just said what I said is not true. In fact, it was true. That's a suspicion that this administration has, and we're committed to finding out the truth. Thank you, everybody.
So what do you guys think? Are Trump and Elon doing a good job getting rid of some of this waste and DEI programs in other countries and funding transgender surgeries in other places? Or are they removing things that are really important? I saw a meme the other day that showed a picture of Elon like cutting funding, and then it showed some baby in another country starving and not having like medical aid and stuff like that. But again, if you watch this video right here, you'll see That's not the case. Elon literally said that there are programs that are making a difference, that are positive and helping people in other countries. And I want to see your thoughts. So comment below. Thank you for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys next time.